To defeat an enemy, you must know them. Not simply their battle tactics, but their history, philosophy, art. So I will ask you again, Captain. Do you know what this is?
Some primitive native trinket.
It's a Kalikori. A revered Twi'lek heirloom, passed from parent to child through generations. Worthless to outsiders, priceless to family.
Yes, well, she stole it.
Yes, but why? War. It's all you ever known, isn't it? You were so young when you survived the Clone War. No wonder you're as equipped in spirit to fight as well as you do. War is in your blood. I study the art of war, work to perfect it. But you were forged by it.
Thrawn Naruto, better known by his core name of Thrawn, and also called Rodo, was a male Chiss officer with a long-spanning career in various militaristic organizations. He served his original organization of the Chiss Ascendancy early in his life, and later adopted into the naval forces of the Galactic Empire and ascended to the rank of the only non-human Grand Admiral in the Imperial military. Thrawn was regarded as one of the best, no, the best military commanders to serve under, and a brilliant military strategist in the Starfleet, with, in my personal opinion, having the second highest strategical thinking out of any other being in all of Star Wars, second only to Revan. His skills were appreciated enough by the reigning Sith Lords that he rose to a position of significant influence and power despite the new Galactic Empire's order of specious policies. Thrawn hailed from the unknown regions world of Casilla, and made his first steps to his calling by becoming an officer in the expansionary defense force of the Chiss Ascendancy in the unknown regions, where he consistently demonstrated his ruthless commitment to eradicating any and all known threats to his plan. These early menaces included an advanced force of scouts and the extragalactic Yuzong Vong race, which were known to the Chiss as Far Outsiders. However, many of Thrawn's ways were contrary to one of the Chiss society, which rejected offensive and preventive strikes. In 27 BBY, just 5 years before the outbreak of the Clone Wars, Thrawn first came into contact with the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Sidious, who held a secret double identity as Supreme Chancellor Palpatine, the leader of the Galactic Republic. After Thrawn successfully destroyed part of Sidious's private task force, they both agreed on the threat posed by the unknown regions, mostly the Yuzong Vong, or Far Outsiders as the Chiss knew them. The two sealed their informal agreement, so when Thrawn destroyed the Republic's exploration ship and project known as Outbound Flight, so it didn't draw the Yuzong Vong towards the Republican Chiss Ascendancy, killing many members of Jedi Order in the process. Thrawn's continued preventive strikes led to the Chiss to exile him on an uninhabited world far in the fringes of the Chiss Ascendancy. In 19 BBY, soon after the execution of Clone Contingency Command 66, the Galactic Republic was reformed into the Galactic Empire. Imperial Navy officer Vos Park encountered Thrawn in the unknown regions, and brought him before Emperor Palpatine, already aware of Thrawn's impressive and nigh unparalleled command skills. Knowing that he destroyed the Outbound Flight, the Prime Ruler approved his admission to the Starfleet. Over time, Thrawn's extremely high intelligence climbed the ladder, thinking that he could be better defend against the threat of the oncoming Yuzong Vong as an Imperial officer than if he returned to the Chiss, and circa 2 ABY became the secret 13th Grand Admiral in the Imperial Navy. Chiss commander fought both the Rebel Alliance and Rogue Imperial officers. Grand Admiral Thrawn served as the Supreme Commander Darth Vader and assistance against Black Sun under Lord Zyzel. Also earned him the allegiance of the Noghri Death Commandos, particularly Rook, who became his own bodyguard. Simultaneously, he pacified the rising tensions of the unknown regions and established a secret empire of his own in the depths of wild space, believing that only a formidable military government could protect the galaxy's diverse species from annihilating each other to serve as a bulwark against the Yuzong Vong. Admiral Thrawn remained in the unknown regions around the time of the Battle of Endor, which both Emperor Palpatine and Lord Vader perished due to the actions of Luke Skywalker. He also remained in there in the subsequent breakdown of the Empire under rival warlords. The Grand Admiral, however, returned in 8 ABY to take control of the remaining shattered Imperial remnants and to crush the New Republic once and for all, the successor state to the Rebel Alliance. Although Thrawn was able to lead his adversaries several major blows in a massive military campaign, defeat became imminent due to his unexpected death during the Battle of Bilbrigi. at the hands of his distraught Noghri assassin Rook, the bodyguard and most trusted assassin of them all. Even though his demise led to further fragmentation of the Empire and the end of his Thrawn campaign, the Grand Admiral left several clones of himself and an empire still unknown to the Republic, in preparation for various yet unknown threats to the galaxy. All things considered, Thrawn was an entire genius. He even noticed once to Kol Kazur, one of his students, the difference between an error and a mistake, noting that anyone can make an error, but that error doesn't become a mistake until you refuse to correct it. Thrawn was utterly appalled by the punishing Vader style of command that so many of his contemporaries in the Imperial Navy supported. Thrawn preferred to promote creativity in his crew, rather than merely punish their minor failures, and did not often kill off personnel at all, as that could easily strain the resources of the Empire, which was unaffordable at the time Thrawn was indoctrinated into its code. This was perhaps best exemplified in a pair of incidents surrounding the tractor beam control pit. During his campaign against the New Republic, a tractor beam operator, Chris Pearson, aboard the Chimera, was responsible for allowing Luke Skywalker to escape capture. Thrawn then further investigated the incident and found a device Peterson disrespectfully refusing to claim responsibility for the incident, referring Thrawn to his command ensign. Thrawn summarily had the man executed at his post in a rather brutal fashion by Rook, and informed the ensign that he was free to train the next replacement. On the other hand, when Skywalker received a similar trap again later, he rewarded the new tractor beam operator, Medjili Methil, with a promotion to lieutenant, because the man had employed creative thinking in his attempt to capture Skywalker, and took responsibility for his failure to complete it. In addition, Thrawn encouraged his senior officers to express their own ideas and gave them reasoned consideration, rather than completely ignoring any outside ideas, as many an Imperial commander had done during the height of the Empire. The sharp contrast between Thrawn's style and that of the megalomaniac and sadistic Imperial heads, including Darth Vader, the Supreme Commander, heightened Thrawn's ability to lead and made him a natural leader on the battlefield, as well as a natural strategist. Thrawn boosted the morale of his crew not only through his victories, but also through his clear dedication to the Empire. Officers and crewmen serving under Thrawn admired the lack of concern for personal glory Thrawn possessed, wanting only the defeat of the Empire's enemies and the establishment of order throughout the galaxy. Indeed, Thrawn was able to unify the Emperor's feuding Moths, final to his final campaign, in no small part owing to his single-minded determination to destroy the rebellion. Finally, Thrawn was willing to admit defeat, rather than stand proud and fight and losing a battle. Thrawn knew when it was time to retreat and back down, though those instances were extremely few and far between. However, one such time was after the Battle of Sulis Van, when his attempt to capture a number of capital ships docked at the shipyard failed. Rather than cover his failure and waste lives and equipment in a vain attack, Thrawn decided to withdraw instead, and in those instances would adjust his plans for later attempts to be far more successful. Thrawn believed intelligence was a key factor in warfare, and thus he maintained a vast, expansive network of spies that were scattered around the galaxy, garnering intelligence and knowledge from various sources. These agents would often report what they found to Thrawn, which helped him gain and garner more intelligence on his enemies. Thrawn also relied on Imperial intelligence, or later on, Delta Source. Thrawn was an excellent starship engineer, designing the missile boat which proved to be a dangerous starfighter that could even dwarf the TIE D Defender, designed by Grand Admiral Demetrius Zarin himself. Many years following the death of Thrawn, sinister triumvirate Major Gordon Tierce found a data card named the Hand of Thrawn. Imperial Moff Vilson Disara believed that Thrawn had hidden a secret superweapon, such as the Sun Crusher or another Death Star. However, Major Tierce theorized that superweapons were not part of Thrawn's tactical style in warfare. Thrawn had shown a keen interest in cloning science. An example was when Thrawn had attempted to make a super commander as the next generation of soldier. Major Grodin Tierce was selected as the template, with Tierce's battle training and Thrawn's tactical abilities. Thrawn expected the project to be an absolute success, but the results did not end up satisfying him. Thrawn similarly took the liberty of having sleeper cells of clones established throughout the galaxy. This was a contingency plan. If the New Republic of the Imperial Remnant were to fall, these cells would be activated to act as resistant forces to the Yuzong Vong invasion, which Thrawn, perhaps more than anyone else in the galaxy besides maybe Palpatine, was extremely knowledgeable on. Another example was when Thrawn attempted to create a group of Force users. However, these clone Force adepts went rogue following his death. With regards to his military technique, Thrawn was a master of military tactics. Thrawn even quoted that he had no qualms about accepting a useful idea merely because it wasn't his own. He wasn't prideful. He was pragmatic and opportunistic. Thrawn was more than an adept commander. His usage of extensive knowledge and intelligence in conjunction with stunning tactics proved Thrawn to be the galaxy's most remarkable military commander during the era of the Empire, and in my personal opinion, second only to Revan. Thrawn often also relied on a network of spies that fed him intelligence and data consistently, which allowed him to one-up his enemies on numerous occasions, in both canon and legends. The precise applications of intelligence enabled Thrawn to win countless victories over numerically superior forces. Thrawn believed that one could understand the psychological and tactical limitations of one's adversaries consistently through the examination of their art, philosophy, and religion, and thus exploit their weaknesses. This conviction was often proven correct, since his vast knowledge and obsession with the analytical study of art resulted in almost infallible strategic victories over nearly every single opponent Thrawn engaged. Thrawn had an eidetic memory and a large holographic collection of art, though he possessed few real artifacts, including Killik Twilight, a set of Mandalorian armor which he wore on his mission to Corellia, and, according to rumor, he even possessed General Grievous's mask that had been abandoned on Utapau. He also had a statue made by a certain species which would totally be wiped out by his forces. It was the only case when Thrawn had a knowledge of a particular species of art and was not able to create a proper tactic to defeat them without a total annihilation. And attention to small details also played a massive role in Thrawn's technique. By scouring large collections of data and intelligence, paired with his eidetic memory, Thrawn was able to piece together small details that alone were merely trivial, but together formed a powerful variable. Additionally, his collection of information and the encyclopedic knowledge of topics gave Thrawn an eerie aura of omniscience. At least once, however, he made mistakes as a result of over-predicting his enemies, assuming they knew information about him that they actually did not. And Thrawn's final defeat came about because of his complete ignorance of Luke Skywalker and Leia Organa's so complete relationship to his old superior, Vader, which earned them the loyalty of the Noghri that superseded the Noghri's existing ties to Thrawn and allowed them to convince the Noghri to aid the Republic. Finally, Thrawn laid out complex campaigns in advance of his attacks. By following a carefully planned campaign, Thrawn was able to keep his enemies guessing, and in time it took his enemies to understand one phase of his plan. Thrawn had already moved on to the next one. In this, Thrawn was already multiple steps ahead of his foes, very similar to Palpatine in politics. Thrawn had a very interesting view on politics. The true extent of Thrawn's loyalty to the Empire is unclear. Indeed, it was later proselyted that Thrawn did not support the Empire per se, but rather wanted to establish a feeling of order in the known galaxy in preparation to combat the as yet unknown threats he discovered during his time venturing in the unknown regions of the galaxy. Thrawn had this to say about his articulates a defense of the Empire. Multiple species with multiple viewpoints and racial philosophies simply cannot hold power together for long. The dominant voice must certainly be wise enough to adopt ideas and methods from its allies and member peoples, but there must be a dominant voice or there is only chaos. In this part of the galaxy, that voice is the Empire. In the aftermath of Yuzong Vongul, Lenang Opali suggested that Thrawns were a militarized, orderly society as being the galaxy's only hope of defeating the Vong successfully, and that the New Republic would only succumb to the same diversion and inefficiency that had destroyed the Old Republic. Hence, his decision to attack the Republic rather than warn it off the Vong. For whatever reason, Thrawn did express loathing of the New Republic. He insisted on still referring to it as the Rebellion, and considered its complete and total and utter destruction to be the only puzzle worth solving after he returned to the known galaxy. Thrawn did believe that a society of multiple species, with various viewpoints and perspectives as well as philosophies, was inherently unstable. In this case, he believed this to be the necessity of a strong central government that he was capable of listening to as its people, but remained the dominant voice. He felt that the only alternative to this was anarchy. Befitting his long-spanning career as well as his calm and collected demeanor, Thrawn was a member of the near-human Chiss species. He possessed shimmering blue-black hair, piercing, glowing red eyes, and an angular face. Thrawn was not force-sensitive, although his older sister, Kivu Odok, was. He perceived the world in a slightly different spectrum than humans, far more advanced, being basically Star Wars' version of high-functioning. He was one of the greatest and most brilliant military strategists of all time, known for his easy and effortless anticipation of his enemy's attacks, as well as his own tactical adaptability and precision. He was known to speak at least 6 languages: Chenu, his native tongue, Saibisti, Misikaf, Miniasat, and Taja, which are trade languages utilized by the Chiss and the Galactic Basic, fluently after joining the Empire. Despite swearing loyalty to the Empire, he also remained extremely loyal to the Chiss ascendancy, believing Emperor Palpatine only commanded the loyalty of his actions. The loyalty of the Grand Admiral's heart, however, and mind, remained with the Chiss ascendancy. Thrawn made a quote when he pledged himself to Emperor Palpatine, saying the following: "I am a warrior, Your Majesty. A warrior may retreat, he does not flee. He may lie in ambush, he does not hide. He may experience victory or defeat, he does not cease to serve." Thrawn worked sluggishly but very efficiently to perfect the art of war. He had an immense respect and understanding of his enemies, believing that in order to defeat a worthy opponent, one must understand them in every aspect, including their history, philosophy, and art. In particular, Thrawn had a strong interest and appreciation for art, and believed that studying it could allow him to delve into the psyche of its people and the cultures that the artists belonged to. Even the study of art made him the target of many jokes in the Imperial Navy's upper ranks, especially among other Grand Admirals. The critics of the Grand Admiral falsely thought that he just enjoyed beautiful pictures. However, the contemporaries that knew Thrawn best knew that it helped him to learn and devise pattern in enemy tactics. Other chiefs of the Chiss Ascendancy never comprehended Thrawn's ability to build a detailed tactical knowledge from what was viewed to be an insignificant or obscure detail residing in art. But Thrawn believed anything in the species art was vital. To Thrawn, all threads tied together, every brushstroke spoke to him, and the light curves told the artist's story. While he knew that every artist was an individual, Thrawn knew that they were a product of culture, so Thrawn could use art to begin to deduce the fundamental pattern of the various species. He could also use this to find relationships between a species' art, culture, and military doctrine, which allowed him to anticipate and counter them on the battlefront. With regards to his respect for life, Thrawn was noted for his concern. Senior Captain Thrawn noted Senior Captain Lakinda and Mid Captain Samarco the following: "All lives are important, and I resist the thought of standing by and watching 200 possibly needless deaths." Thrawn had a strong dislike and even anger when it came to civilian casualties. Although during his service to the Empire, he sometimes acquiesced to operations that harmed civilians, though his servitude to the Chiss Ascendancy and Galactic Empire. Thrawn sought not only to protect the lives of civilians loyal to the regimes he served, but also the civilians of other factions. His regards for the lives of civilians, including various aliens, was noted by many individuals in canon and legends, including Senior Captain Lakinda, Lothal Governor Arinda Price, and Commander Eli Vanto. During his service in the Chiss Expansionary Defense Fleet, Thrawn maneuvered to save the lives of civilians on other species on numerous occasions, and even at times bending the Ascendancy's non-intervention protocols. During his service to the Ascendancy, Thrawn's primary loyalty was to his own Chiss people, and it was an unwavering one. As such, he typically had motives related to learning about threats to the Chiss when perfecting and protecting civilians of other factions, but notably did not during the Civic incident. During Haplif and Jix's plot to destroy and obliterate the Chiss Ascendancy, Senior Captain Lakinda reflected with disdain that Thrawn had exaggerated concern for non-Chiss aliens, for whom the Chiss Ascendancy had no business carrying out. She had no doubt that Thrawn would intervene in a civil war, in which the Chiss would have no stake to try to stop the hostilities, and believed there would be negative repercussions for the Chiss's involvement in that war. While serving the Empire, Thrawn angered his captain Phila Rosai by saving the people aboard the Dromdar, rather than saving what was Dibana Gus in the hijacking of that vessel. Later, during a similar skirmish against the Third Fleet, Thrawn promised the treasonous Grand Admiral Balani Savit that he would defeat the Third Fleet with no deaths in either of the Grand Admiral's command, and then, together with Commander Karen Furrow, succeeded in doing so. With regards to his respect for enemies, Thrawn was quite unique. He is especially noted to Nightsworn, asking to surrender in the Baton Insurgency the following: "I will seek to preserve all the lives under your leadership, combatant or otherwise, to the best of my ability, and offer my clemency and surrender also stands." Art pieces taken from his enemies in Thrawn's personal collection were, in his eyes, not merely trophies. To Thrawn, such works were a way to easily symbolize his greatest foes. Notable among Imperial officers, Thrawn abhorred civilian casualties and thought to preserve the lives of civilians who would be caught in crossfire, and even many enemy combatants. Thrawn offered clemency to Neville King Guy, known as Nightsworn, and often the rebel position in his native Chiss Ascendancy, believing his adversary's skill set would be of great benefit to his people. Thrawn sought in pain to prevent a mass slaughter of Baton's Prekov mining and refining complex by seeking his foe's surrender, promising Nightsworn that he was only the man's guarantee and that civilians crowded within the stronghold world would not be slaughtered, while the other Imperials would be happy to do such a thing. Thrawn knew that Signai would not harm him during the two men's covert meeting on Baton because of their mutual respect for one another, and due to the fact that Thrawn pledged to do all in his power to prevent the unnecessary deaths. However, against the wishes of Thrawn and the Imperial Security Bureau Colonel Wolf Loran, Governor Price ended the Baton Insurgency by detonating an extremely formidable bomb in the Crack Path complex that killed hundreds of insurgents and civilians. She, however, violated her orders in doing so, but secured an imperial victory over the rebel insurgents of that planet. Thrawn and Yularen then suspected Price's guilt in the matter, but could not eventually prove it. However, the Imperial High Command in Coruscant saw the result as a major victory and did not mind the deaths of hundreds of civilians. They promoted Thrawn, whom they believed responsible for the attack, to the position of Grand Admiral for leading the major victory on Baton. Thrawn had a strong misgiving about accepting a promotion for the attack. He abhorred in which he did not conduct it or authorize. However, Price persuaded Thrawn into accepting the resulting acclaim by arguing that someone would command the 7th Fleet, and very few other high Imperial officers would seek to minimize civilian deaths with that fleet. Never mind, and nevertheless, Thrawn ordered his ground forces to search and rescue various survivors, civilian and combatant, from the ruined complex, hoping in part to find Signy alive. Thrawn's respect for his foes extended to other various major opponents in canon, including Hera Syndulla and Ahsoka Tano. Upon his first meeting with Syndulla, he remarked that it was an unexpected pleasure to meet the rebel leader, and it was somewhat upset the encounter could end up being their only meeting due to the fact he would have her summarily executed, as he promised her he would keep her family Kalikori in a place of honor. Later, he particularly praised her abilities as a combative pilot, even while Syndulla was using those skills against his own blockade, and heralded her as one of his greatest foes upon her successful capture. He took the moment to then inquire to her about the Kalikori, and even apologized for inquiring, although he then suggested she should appreciate the fact that he cared about it. During his escape from Peridia, Thrawn congratulated Tano on being a worthy opponent, and then bemoaned that they would never likely meet face to face due to Thrawn jumping back into the original galaxy. However, while Thrawn genuinely refused to kill civilians needlessly, he became willing to resort to killing non-combatants at the end of the Lothal campaign in order to achieve victory for the Empire. Thrawn had the goal of rooting out Lothal's rebels and procuring Ezra Bridger for the Emperor, who sought to turn the young Padawan, who was exceptionally naturally powerful in the Force, to the dark side. Thrawn demanded that Bridger surrender himself and come aboard the Chimera, where he would bombard the capital city of Lothal himself. The Lothal rebels did not believe Thrawn at first due to his limits to kill civilians in the past, but Thrawn had Rook's forces to disable the city's deflector shield generator, at which point his flagship, the Chimera, began bombarding the city. Horrified, Ezra gave in and took the gunship to Thrawn's flagship, at which point Thrawn stopped the bombardment, but warned he would resume it and destroy the city if Ezra's friends and the Padawan tried any heroics. He stayed true to his word, ordering the ships to prepare to fire after Bridger began to fight his way to the bridge. Thrawn displayed a less hesitation to kill non-sentient animals, however, such as the hyperspace-traveling worms Purgles, when the situation called for it. He ordered the Knights Istanbul and Elsbeth to kill any Purgle that approached the planet Peridia to ensure that the former Jedi Ahsoka Tano did not manage to land on the planet's ground, knowing it could be detrimental to his plans. Senior Captain Thrawn has a reputation for knowing a lot about alien art and artworks. I remember hearing a show once where a music critic who just listened to half a minute of a new recording was able to pop out with the piece, the conductor, and the ensemble playing it. If he could do that from the sound alone, who knows what someone like Thrawn could do with just a look. Throughout his adult life, Thrawn had a deep appreciation for art and culture. Art became an invaluable tool for him as a philosophing tactician, as he found everything about a piece of art tied together that spoke to him, while no other Chiss understood it. Arguably no one else in the galaxy, even Palpatine, who was far more intelligent than Thrawn in overall intelligence but not battle intelligence. Despite the many times that Palpatine tried, and despite receiving mockery from the upper ranks of the Imperial Navy for his intensive studies into art, he had a rare talent of learning societies, and even individualized people's histories, tactics, and strategies by studying the art that they had created. The Chiss officer was able to learn from his adversary's artwork to design strategies to exploit their cultural and tactical blind spots, leading to a wide recognition as a military genius. Even able to find subtle changes in the culture's collective art style as he studied various generations of art in Union. Thrawn studied works ranging from paintings to sculptures to any other form of art to piece together the truth of their creators. From those deductions, he could find the cultural, historical, and philosophical backgrounds of some of the individuals who formated the works, granting him a comprehensive understanding of the society or species from which they spawned with merely a look. Whether it be finding ways in which a species would react to attack or deducing how a culture would respond to what was before them, artwork was a fundamental key to Thrawn's strategy. The fundamental patterns of one species or culture left a work that meant that, while he knew each artist was their own individual, Thrawn could find the various common threads between multiple works by multiple artists, flesh out the culture of those before him, and even find out how it intertwined to one's military doctrine. Thrawn even found that what art was highly valued amongst the culture and the type of art a culture made were clues to how they would act in battle. whereas other Chiss saw Thrawn as someone who made military miracles because he understood insignificant details. Thrawn maintained that every single part of art piece was important. It was through a complete understanding of a piece of art that Thrawn could understand the creator, and then grow and expand that understanding into one of their culture and species. The impact of both the individual and their culture on the art they created could be seen by Thrawn's discerning eye and no one else's. During Thrawn's first meeting with Thras, he noted to his guide that the unusual fact that the artist who did 3 landscapes in the ruling family reception hall also created 2 of the statuettes. All Myth family artwork rotated out by the official collection of family art of Scylla was unassigned as the artwork was seen as a family piece, not by individuals. Thras was stunned by Thrawn's immediate ability to note 5 works of art that, among a selection of hundreds of thousands of Myth family works, were all formatted and created by the same artist. Thrawn was also able to determine the gender and personal history of the artist, who was the 12th patriarch Mithrarondu. On tragic, Thrawn found Thrawn's ability to determine that the patriarch suffered a personal loss after the Tidepool landscape piece nothing short of phenomenal. Thrawn consistently sought to revert to Cheri's Pekos Sulcan ring of Ongolai for Mokasa, when Ongolai feared the Nikrakond invaders of Rapak would kill every last Pekosh. By the time of the Nikardun campaigns, Thrawn had a reputation among the Chiss Expansionary Defense Fleet as an expert on alien art and someone who could glean important information from cursory inspection of a simply one art piece. Thrawn's renown was wide enough that the fleet analyst like a Bulbul recommended Thrawn analyze a suspicious brooch his cousin had sent him, rather than a scientist or metal specialist. Similarly, as an Imperial Grand Admiral, Thrawn stole the Syndulla's family Kalakori after subverting resistance on the Twi'lek homeworld of R'allah. Thrawn then honored the Kalakori as a sacred item in Twi'lek culture, and sought both to protect it as well as analyze it for various things. Thrawn's first Imperial protege, Eli Vanto, trusting the Chiss's ability to read people through art, even wishing Thrawn could teach him to do the same, but came to believe that no one could truly understand the officer's skill in that field. Instead, Vanto understood numbers, and thus had his own skill to bring to the table. Both possessed a skill they understood like no other, which Vanto suspected could be why they would work together in such fluid teamwork. Another one of Thrawn's Imperial proteges, Karin Faro, was at first frustrated by Thrawn's ability to make deduction through art because she did not see what he did. Later, however, she managed to let go of that anger and jealousy. Instead, she always took the moment to marvel at nice pictures, trusting the Grand Admiral Thrawn knew what he was talking about. Thrawn's immense appreciation and satisfaction with gazing at art pictures and his determination to defeat the rebellion led him to amass a vast collection of images and objects related to the crew of the rebel ship Ghost, who outsmarted his predecessors on numerous occasions. In addition, Thrawn's scrutiny of List and Callus's reports following the rebel infiltration of Lothal Imperial facility and factory led him to realize the Empire had a spy within their ranks. Thrawn believed that interrogating all Imperial personnel would alert the traitor, and instead, he advocated an engineering trap for the traitor that would turn them into an asset of the Empire itself. During his exile in Peridia in a distant galaxy, he developed a new interest in the dark arts and the occultism, even asking the Great Mothers to lend him a portion of their dark magics. Seemingly after learning from his previous experience of unfamiliar opponents using the Force, during his eventual escape, Morgan Elsbeth gathered a small legion of volunteer troops who would be resurrected into an undead legion upon death. Upon the return to the galaxy, he traveled to the planet Dathomir as part of the bargain that he originally struck with the Great Mothers. The hold of the Chimera was full of the caskets taken from the ancient Peridian Night Sister fortress, full of the corpses of dead Night Sisters. Is this what the Chiss do? See a trap and just walk into it? Sometimes walking into a trap is the best strategy. There are a few traps that cannot be turned against their designers. Throughout his career with the ascendancy in the Empire, Thrawn had a confident and calm view of traps that laid before him, up to and during the battle over Crimea. Thrawn allowed himself to spring General Yiv and the Benevolence trap, wherein he would be brought aboard Yiv's flagship, Deathless, in an unarmed freighter. Thrawn successfully reversed that trap by bringing the Chiss Expansionary Defense Fleet to bear on Yiv's prime fleet, including the Vigilant, the Springhawk, and the Geishrai. Following Yiv's defeat, and Gish Hemegi hired a Wattic crew led by Captain Seer to trap and either destroy or distract Thrawn and the crew of the Springhawk. Thrawn understood that they were being led into a trap, but commented to caregiver Thalias that it made it all the more important to understand their unknown enemies. An opponent bold enough to attack the Chiss war vessel directly was extremely dangerous, and well within the prerogative of the Expansionary Defense Fleet to scout out. When eventually discovered by the crew of the Imperial Venator-class Star Destroyer Strike-Fast, Thrawn caused enough damage to the Stormtroopers and Imperial Navy troopers to make the Strike-Fast officers seek to study him, leading them to transport his hut aboard the Venator. he hid inside his hut, arranging his transport to within the Empire proper, thus securing his own goal by springing what the Imperials believed to be their own trap. As a cadet and Royal Imperial, Thrawn believed and explained to Eli Vanto that most traps could be reversed on their designers, and proceeded to ensnare Rosita Toroi and Spank Orba in the trap that they sought to catch Thrawn and Vanto in the Maturgly Loud. Later, upon discovering the Grand Admiral B'Elanna Sabat's treachery, Thrawn defeated Sabat in part by springing Sabat on a trap and being held as a captive by the human Grand Admiral on the bridge of Sabat's fire drain, although he eventually anticipated this and played extremely well, outplaying the fellow traitorous Grand Admiral. Thrawn, unlike many other Imperials, was quite limited and quite civil as well as quite lenient when it came to view of non-Chiss beings, not possessing an overall hierarchy and grasp on the concept of speciesism, viewing it as heinous act and a crime against society. When Senior Commander Thrawn and Commodore Arlani visited the Gaiwan homeworld of Solitaire, the host introduced him to the Gaiwan culture. Arlani informed Thrawn that she now saw aliens as people for the first time, believing this was how Thrawn had always seen the non-Chiss. Thrawn replied that he saw non-Chiss individuals as assets first and people second. And when he explained that to Arlani, she noticed sadness and thoughtfulness on his face before he explained the assets could be possible foes or allies. Following the capture of General Giv, the Benevolent, at the Battle of Primela, Thrawn explained to the Cherry that Arlani escaped to join Chiss Rock Victory because she saw the non-Chiss as people, while he perceived them as assets. By the Battle of the Nicocurdan campaign, Thrawn's view of the non-Chiss had evolved, believing that lives of all species were important to the galaxy, and became notorious in the expansionary defense fleet for his desire to protect people of other species in all walks of life. Senior Captain Lakinda reflected bitterly to herself that Thrawn may meddle in alien species' civil war to save them from destroying themselves. At some point following the skirmish known as the Hoxham Skirmish, Thrawn took the Spring Hawk to Zyzek, searching for Rateth employers and envoys and traders to whom he believed he could turn over custody of his Watith prisoners, so that they may be reunited with their own people. During his time on Sifar serving the Imperial Navy, Thrawn also treated the immigrated humans as native Sifari, even-handedly while collecting information, ultimately finding that some of the humans had mistreated the Kithari. With regards to its perspective on xenophobia that was incredibly prominent in the Empire, during Thrawn's tenure as Imperial Grand Admiral, as well as the lower ranks, with Eli Vanto at the Royal Imperial Academy, he became exposed to the receiving end of immense xenophobia. Vanto explained the Imperial personnel weren't supposed to treat non-humans and people from the Galactic Rim with respect, but it often did quite the opposite. Thrawn's alien status among humans and origins in the unknown regions should have made various fellow cadets treat him with a little more respect, but in the practice led to immense discrimination and hatred. Thrawn inquired to Vanto why humans of the core world disliked non-humans, to which Vanto replied with the explanation that he had heard. Many non-human species aligned with the Separatists in the Clone Wars, and humans felt like they had both suffered and contributed to the Republic's war effort disproportionately compared to their non-human allies. Vanto did not know whether this was true as he was inexperienced in this arena, but assured Thrawn that the sentiment existed regardless. Thrawn then inquired whether it would not be better to only present non-humans who fought with the Separatists, to which Vanto conceded, at which point Vanto realized that the xenophobic current among Imperial humans probably didn't originate in that way. However, despite all of his militaristic brilliance, Thrawn was incredibly inept when it came to politics, with Mid-Captain Sumatro and Plasma Sphere specialists like him noting this. I have never seen anyone as utterly incompetent as politics as he is. You're saying, sir, that Senior Captain Thrawn isn't playing politics here because he never plays politics? I'm saying that Senior Captain Thrawn never plays politics because he doesn't know how to play politics. Bottom line, when Thrawn comes up with a plan, it's strictly military. Nothing more, nothing less. For all his tactical skill and marvel, Thrawn was known to miss various political subtleties of situations. Thus, while he would focus on what outcome would create a victory, the outcomes of his actions had a habit of making various politicians and greedy power gropers unhappy, though Thrawn considered politics another variation of warfare that he himself did not participate in. Aralani believed that Thrawn's failings in the category were a result of politics having been constantly and easily changing goals and alliances. In contrast, military warfare was relatively straightforward, what with changing alliances slowed down by time in the time it took to change battle lines, though he claimed to be confident in his ability to master the field of politics if he required it. Aralani doubted his chances due to him missing the political subtleties constantly. Thrawn often said things that were politically inexpedient, with no malicious intent, however incurring malicious intent. When Senior Captain Lakinda expressed her willingness to sacrifice her life if the skirmish bunker Hoxham should require it, Lakinda's first officer, Mid-Captain Apros, protested. Lakinda told Apros and Thrawn she would hear no objection. Thrawn told her he would not have raised any. Similarly, Thrawn made an unintentionally impolite remark to Wolf Yularen after the ISB colonel confronted Thrawn about his parley with the Night Swarm. Thrawn complimented Yularen on the colonel's tactical abilities, saying they were equal to his protege in Eli Vantos, and the Chief Admiral then added that he did not know whether Yularen also possessed Eli's acumen and leadership. Despite many others attempting to put various beings down, Thrawn had immense respect as well as support for his subordinates and colleagues. Throughout Thrawn's long-spanning career in service to the Chiss Ascendancy and later the Galactic Empire, Thrawn provided a great deal of support, often without request, for the personnel under his command, specifically troops that were often overlooked. This support also extended to his superior officers when they were maligned or overlooked. This was observed by individuals including Eli Vanto, Supreme General Bakith, Mid-Captain Sumatro, and Commander Kimlin. In particular, Kimlin noted that all of Thrawn's senior officers were intent on working together to perform and enact their duties to the best of their ability, and knew this was because of Thrawn's leadership style. He also explicitly noted that Thrawn never used his genius to humiliate anyone, and that he demanded results but never perfection. Thrawn cared about those under his command to an immense degree, even to the point of standing up to the most horrific man in the galaxy, Darth Vader, to defend them, with Darth Vader causing other men to grope down on their feet and weep. Thrawn was able to stand up to him with ease, showing his opinion, and in some way impressing Vader with his sense of audacity. Gilbon wished that Thrawn's leadership style would become the standard within the Imperial military, and believed that if that were ever to happen, the Empire would stand eternally. This supportive approach earned the Grand Admiral the respect of those under his command, to the point that his army of night troopers all volunteered to sacrifice themselves in his honor during the New Republic era in the Ahsoka TV show. Thrawn also had a bit of an antsy habit, assigning his subordinates into new positions to see how they reacted, providing he was sure they could be effective within this new role. Thrawn did not want his subordinates and partners to take the flak for his failures, but he was happy to share various credit and acclaim if it was due. He often set his subordinates up for professional growth and development, even without their knowledge, as he did with Lieutenant Commander Lakin, Eli Vunta, and Karen Farrow. However, Thrawn did possess a lot of toleration and insubordination in the name of victory. My apologies, Senior Captain. My behavior over the past 3 minutes has been severely disrespectful, but equally productive. Certainly you should know by now that I consider results far more valuable than etiquette. Thrawn cared more about results than etiquette in regards to normal manners and various other things. Thrawn was both willing to perform acts of insubordination to achieve major victories, and went out of line during the Chiss Ascendancy's mission to Repart. Thrawn was pleased with Thalia's succeeding in postponing the Magis from ordering the mass suicide of her people. Therefore, he ordered all of the staff of the Springhawk to act as though Thalias was commanding officer on the vessel whenever the Magis, her companion, were present, in order to maintain the illusion. Thrawn also similarly usurped command to achieve victory on at least 2 occasions during his rise through the Imperial hierarchy. First, Thrawn acted insubordinate towards Admiral Glycovus in the aftermath of the Dromandia hijack, which helped the Empire track the pirates and insurgents responsible for such an incident. Later, Thrawn blatantly defied the order of incompetent Admiral Carlo Gendling during the battle over the planet of Umbara. There, Thrawn managed to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat at the battle over Umbara using his brilliance and tactical skills, showing how he was in many ways the most intelligent being in the entire galaxy save for Palpatine. Thrawn devishly hoped that his commander Alfred Chenna would be given the credit for the victory, allowing him to retire with one final glorious victory. Instead, Admiral Gendling lashed out at Chenna, believing the insubordination to have originated with the commander. Thrawn was about to object, however, and take the blame himself when Chenna told Chiss he saw great potential in him, and he would take the fall to protect Thrawn and allow Thrawn to grow further in the Imperial Navy. During the skirmish against the Third Fleet, Thrawn instructed Commodore Farrow to declare that the Grand Admiral Savitt's TIE pilots had staged a mutiny against Savitt over his treasonous actions, and encouraged the remainder of the Third Fleet to join them. In reality, these mutineers piloting the fire-dragged TIEs at that point were Thrawn's own Death Trooper guard, who had commandeered Savitt's TIE fighters to appear mutinous. Central to Thrawn and Farrow's victory over Savitt was convincing Savitt's forces themselves, including Captain Gillard Pallion, to commit insubordination against their treacherous Grand Admiral. This demonstrated both Thrawn and Farrow's brilliance, and the refinement of insubordination into a tactical weapon against their multiply treacherous and treasonous enemy. However, despite being rather ruthless at times, Thrawn's demeanor as well as coolness was rather calm, and a suave, sophisticated mannerisms masked his ruthlessness. Thrawn rarely wavered in his general cool temperament, though at one point he furiously grabbed Salva by his uniform for regarding his collectible Kalikori, an ancient Twi'lek relic of Hera Syndulla, as Twi'lek trash. He quickly regained his composure, however, and apologized to Salvin for his emotional outburst. This display may have not been an emotional outburst on his part, however, but rather a calculated burst of anger and a tactic on Thrawn's part, similar to what Vader did to augment his connection to the dark side. In a similar incident years earlier, Thrawn had apparently shouted in anger at a stormtrooper for refusing to listen to orders, but as he explained to his aide Eli Vanto, he'd in fact not been angry, but he only had broken his usual pattern of behavior, which he believed was an effective tool in dealing with people who would not listen to reason or change their normal pattern of behavior despite him requesting it of them. Thrawn was also very polite and respectful, especially towards his enemies, whom he generally tended to admire for their various tactics, especially if they managed to evade him multiple times, such as the crew of the Ghost. Even when interrogating Hera Syndulla, he showed manly behaviors despite their antagonistic relationship on opposite sides. Thrawn did not have a high opinion of Admiral Constantine, and once sent him on a mission to deal with the Iron Squadron in the Makaipo system. Thrawn set a task for Constantine by ordering the Admiral to depart with only a light cruiser in order to test his mettle. Constantine underestimated the ingenuity and resourcefulness of the rebels there, and Thrawn was acute enough to discern that Constantine was lying when the latter tried to save the face by claiming to have driven the rebels from the system. As a matter of fact, Thrawn was aware the rebels had already evacuated their sympathizers from that system. During his exile on the extragalactic planet of Peridia, he also let the Mandalorian Sabine Wren leave to find the former Jedi Padawan Ezra Bridger as a tactical maneuverability, showing her a sign of breed, as well as displaying to her that he respected her, despite their long history of antagonism. Thrawn's respect for General Syndulla led him to visit her while she was being interrogated by Governor Alinda Price. While Thrawn regarded looking after a Kalikori as a sign of respect, Syndulla was assaulted that her enemy would hold a valuable family heirloom. Thrawn believed that his TIE Defender project was a better investment than Orson Krennic's Death Star project, and traveled to Coruscant to lobby the Emperor in favor of his plan, not wanting the Emperor to put all the eggs of the Death Star in one basket. He did not want all the Empire's resources spent on one thing, as if that thing was destroyed, as the Death Star was in Zero BBY by Luke Skywalker, then their entire plan fell through. Thrawn's efforts to mass-produce TIE Defenders on Lothal came to naught when Governor Price destroyed Lothal City to fuel Depot. Price, who sought to destroy the Spectres, damaged the TIE Defender factory and destroyed the fuel depot in the process, while Price managed to kill the Jedi Caden Jarrett. Thrawn believed the loss of the TIE Defender factory outweighed the Jedi Knight's death. Frustrated with Price's incompetence, Thrawn resolved to deal with her personally once he returned to Lothal. When Ezra Bridger's Purrgil allies attacked Thrawn's fleet and launched onto the Chimera, Grand Admiral displayed fear, anger, and various frustration. The Lothal rebels' Purrgil reinforcements marks a rare instance of Thrawn's strategy and tactics being bested, as he had no way to foresee that the Purrgils would arrive. In the past, Thrawn could almost flawlessly and expertly anticipate his adversary's tactics and counter them perfectly, making that battle stand out in his record. Before the arrival of the Purrgil, Thrawn stated the rebels had only created a momentary setback, implying the defeat may have been turned into an Imperial victory with his genius. However, the unexpected arrival of the Purrgil and the subsequent destruction of his blockade halted any possible Imperial retaliation. After briefly losing his composure in the Purrgil attack, and even amid Purrgil tentacles, Thrawn accepted his fate and regained a steady resolve, telling Ezra that the same fate awaited the young Jedi Knight. During his long exile in the far-off galaxy, it seemed that Thrawn had retained his calm and cool composure multiple times, reacting with a small hint of relief and a surprise at the arrival of the both forces of Morgan Elsbeth, as well as that of Sabine Wren. He later dealt with the arrival of Ahsoka Tano to the world and proved to be the superior tactician with minimal losses on his part, only just demonstrating a hint of fear when the Jedi successfully infiltrated the fortress, where the Chimera and the Eye of Sion were prepared to depart to the main galaxy. Admiral Thrawn was rather unique in this light, as he personally believed that the Empire was corrupt. A quote to Night Sworn, when Thrawn offered the man a position in the chief's ascendancy, rings into mind. Certainly the Empire is corrupt. No government totally escapes that plague. Certainly is tyrannical, but quick and utter ruthlessness is a necessity when the galaxy is continually threatened and tempered by chaos. During his tenure, as well as brief interaction with Anakin Skywalker during the Clone Wars, Admiral Thrawn accepted that the Empire has served as corrupt as well as tyrannical. He viewed those traits as a plausible negative, but believed that the galaxy needed a strong, tempered, and ruthless galactic government would be necessary to cool the steel that was left over from the reorganization from the Galactic Republic. He thought that it would be necessary to protect the galaxy from threats he perceived as far more evil than the Empire, and far more dangerous to all living beings. Threats like extragalactic ones such as the Yuzong Vong. During their meeting on Batum, insurgent leader Neville Singai asked Thrawn why he willingly serve such a tyrannical regime to such effectiveness, to which Thrawn replied, the strength of such a regime would be a necessary bulwark against the evil threats to the galaxy. Signy implored the Chiss Admiral, asking how long Thrawn would accept tyranny as a necessary part of Imperial rule. Thrawn replied that Emperor Palpatine would not live forever, and he believes his position as a senior officer would help to influence the choice of a successor who would be less tyrannical while maintaining defensive strength. During the two men's brief conversation, Thrawn revealed to Signy his true purpose that led him into the service of the Empire to begin with. Thrawn's native Chiss ascendancy knew of the dangerous threats dwelling outside of the borders of the galaxy as well as in the unknown regions, such as Null Null, various other hyperspace anomalies such as the Star Wars, as well as the Yuzong Vong, including as well the Gris Hemorrhage, and saw relations with other galactic powers as allies, Bay or Bo. The Ascendancy had deemed it so that the Republic which Thrawn had encountered during the Clone Wars would not be a suitable ally against those threats as they deemed it too weak, as well as the Jedi too dogmatic, mired in bureaucratic processes, corrupt, and of disparate and clashing interests. Thrawn informed Signy that the Ascendancy needed to know whether the Empire that was rising from the ashes of the Clone War could be a better ally of Bay. He explained furthermore that he had been sent on a simple reconnaissance mission, never expecting to be taken before the Emperor directly and be made an officer in the Imperial Navy. However, Thrawn immediately considered his new circumstances to be an opportunity to be even more used to his native Chiss in his original assignment, and thought he could best serve the peoples of both the Ascendancy and the Empire as the Imperial Grand Admiral, the 13th, technically illegal Grand Admiral. Thrawn had a very unique outlook on the philosophy regarding the tenet of peace. Thrawn sought to protect his native Chiss ascendancy and the Galactic Empire from various insidious extragalactically powerful threats, and believed that steadfast military strength and swift action were necessary to achieve that goal. During his meeting with Neville Singy on Baton, Thrawn explained his belief that a tyrannical, ironclad galactic empire was better equipped than a galaxy war to protect life and liberties from such extragalactic threats. Thrawn reasoned that if some of the threats far more evil than the Galactic Empire were to conquer the galaxy, liberty and hope would be permanently extinguished, as well as any hope for a bright future. As such, he perceived maintaining order in the Empire as serving the greater good of the peoples of the galaxy in the long run, even when the actions to maintain order meant tyranny and oppressive regimes. Nevertheless, Thrawn eventually sought to minimize civilian and combatant deaths, which is a rare trait among Imperial officers which saw many of its soldiers as well as others as expendable. While leading the Chiss Ascendancy Springhawk against the Nicodem Conquest as senior captain, Thrawn's bridge officers discussed a desire for peace. Thrawn appeared, asking how peace should be achieved in an ordered galaxy. The senior captain presented scenarios that could count as peace but be unacceptable to the Chiss, including being destroyed or enthralled to a hostile conquering power. Thrawn noted that peace could be achieved in a number of various ways, which could range from an alien conquest of the Ascendancy to Chiss conquest of others. He said his first officer, Macro, eventually settled on his best method of ensuring peace, at least for the present situation, was to prove beyond any doubt that the Ascendancy could and would respond to attacks with overwhelming force. Who deserves what is irrelevant. What matters is who has power. Thrawn looked down on the Jedi, viewing them as idealists in their sorcerous ways who were willing to sacrifice strategically sound choices for perceived just and moral reason. He viewed the Jedi Code as dogmatic, restricting their movements and tactical sensibility. However, he greatly respected Jedi General Anakin Skywalker, noting the Knight's skills as a warrior specifically, and honored the man's legacy after his death. Thrawn regarded the Force as a weapon, and believed that the Jedi did not know how to properly use it despite having devoted over 25,000 years into the intensive study. Intending to destroy the planet of Lothal, Thrawn collected Sabine's art, since he regarded her as a talented artist and believed that he was safeguarding her legacy. Similarly, he believed that all that utterly mattered was not who had moral justification, but who possessed the power over that. Thrawn believed that the Jedi had made a mistake in doing what they believed to be morally correct at the cost of strategic soundness during the war, ultimately leading to their near extermination at the activation of Clone Command 66, and the reduction of their ranks to poorly trained children in hiding, such as Ezra Bridger, Kanan Jarrus, and eventually Luke Skywalker. So, my friends, that was the complete breakdown of Grand Admiral Thrawn's personality and his mentality, the mentality of a warrior. Thrawn is one of my favorite characters as well as antagonist in all of the history of not only Star Wars, but any fictional series, and reminds me a great deal of some of the people I know in the real world. being very analytical, cynical, as well as quite fair and just, despite his immense intelligence. I do hope to do more lore videos surrounding this in the future, perhaps a detailed video on the entirety of the Thrawn campaign in Legends continuity, or perhaps for once a canon lore video. So, my friends, despite this is where we part ways. See you in a galaxy far, far away. Put your suggestions down in the comments, and remember, the Force will be with you.